Hi, I'm Wayne Atkins, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the value of faith. What is the value of faith? Well, if you're the Apostle Paul, faith is invaluable. He talks a great deal about faith and the fact that faith is what secures your salvation. Faith is what allows someone to believe in something that they don't have evidence for, something they can't prove. But what's the real value in that? If you believe that Jesus Christ can forgive your sins and that believing in Him will get you to heaven, and it turns out to be true, faith is invaluable. But what if you believe something different? Ask a Christian what happens to Muslims who believe that Islam is the correct path to heaven. Most, if they're not a liberal Christian, or any kind of moderate or fundamentalist Christian will tell you that they're going to go to hell because they've put their faith in the wrong thing. What if you met an adult who still believed in Santa Claus based on faith? Would you consider this person admirable for having such strong faith, such strong belief without any evidence? Or would you consider him a fool for believing in something so preposterous without any kind of evidence? Well, if you would think that about this person who believes in Santa Claus, ask yourself this: why is it any less preposterous for you to believe in something that you have absolutely no proof for than it is for that person to believe in Santa Claus, or for the Muslim to believe in Islam? I'm a former Bible college student, and what we're taught when we went out and ministered to people, witnessed to people, wasn't to tell people, hey, you need to believe this on faith. We were taught to try to persuade them using arguments and showing them evidence, whether from the Bible or elsewhere. The Christian, the fundamentalist creationist, young Earth creationist movement has turned to this in recent years, trying to argue that they have scientific proof, scientific evidence for creation, because they know that to take it on faith doesn't fly with people, especially educated people. So they understand the value of faith. If you put your faith in a misplaced proposition and you end up going to hell, how valuable is your faith then? You'd say not at all. In fact, it's detrimental. So it's pretty clear that faith is only valuable when it's placed in a proposition that is true, and can be quite detrimental if placed in a proposition that is false. Remember the Heaven's Gate cult? Those people had plenty of faith that they were going to catch a comet ride to heaven. They committed suicide. That takes a lot of faith. Was their faith valuable? Did it serve them well? No. Down at Guyana, Jim Jones, all those folks followed Jim Jones and drank the Kool-Aid. Did their faith serve them well? No. I could go on and on about that. It's obvious that if you have faith in a true proposition, faith is valuable. If you have faith in a proposition that's not true, faith can be often detrimental. So, how do you know that the proposition that you have placed your faith in is true? The only way to know is to look at the evidence. Now, if the proposition that you claim is true has to be taken on faith because there is no evidence, why would you believe it? I just want you to see that to say you believe in God on faith, it has to be taken on faith, is to say that you have to roll the dice. It's absolutely the same thing. Because if you have evidence, you don't need faith. In fact, faith by definition is belief without proof. If you have proof, you don't have faith. Belief without proof is not the same as belief with proof. Those are two different things. So if you have evidence that God is real and God exists, and that's why you say you believe it, that's one thing. Nobody has that evidence. Nobody can prove that God is real. So everyone's taking it on faith. And I just got to ask you, how do you know that the proposition you're believing on faith is true without evidence? You don't. So you're rolling the dice, but at the same time, you're telling everyone else, you should believe this. This is true. Take it on faith. And it's actually a crapshoot. Faith is worthless. Faith, at best, is chance. Choosing a proposition and believing it without evidence. At worst, it's detrimental. It causes people to believe things wholeheartedly that simply aren't true, that can affect them, ruin their lives, end their lives. It can affect other people. It can affect public policy. It can affect cultures. It can cause wars. To believe something on faith is ridiculous. So that's my take on the value of faith.